Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. It is SCT Sampler Kit time of the month, where I unbox my kit, show it all to you, and then create a project. And this time around there's a bit of announcement, so let's go ahead and dive into that. So SCT recently sent out an email saying that they're canceling the sampler subscription kits, and I'm kind of bummed because this was the perfect kit for me. It was a little bit of something to come in the mail every month, and I enjoyed the surprise. I enjoyed all the little goodies and seeing some of the new product lines. They have said that they will be replacing this with page layout kits, and they already have a pre-existing stamp and die kit for card makers. So I think what they're trying to do is kind of separate out the scrapbookers from the card makers, because perhaps there's not as much crossover as there used to be. With that being said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I have at least a few more months. I can't quite tell if my subscription ends in December or earlier than that in October. At any rate, I will keep bringing these videos to you as long as I keep getting these kits. So you've already seen me open up this kit and dive in, and our theme word this month is good vibes. And as usual, we have our good vibes word and shadow die set. We have in here, the package was really chunky this month, and so I was really curious. In here we have a stamp and die set from Close to My Heart, and this is how their stamps and die sets always come packaged, and here is the sample card that comes along with that. And this stamp set is so sweet and beautiful, and I love that kind of Adirondack lounge chair and this girl. Now it is very lake specific, but it could be altered to other summery, watery locations. So I'm going to have fun playing with that stamp set. I don't know if I'll get to that in this project. We shall see. And if you don't know already, I always do a project after I do the unboxing, so stick around for that. Now, the supplies are as typical, where we have two separate manufacturers, and I had a little bit of damage to one of my products this month, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think I can make do with that. So I did go ahead and separate out my two manufacturers. This side is the Simple Stories Retro Summer Collection, and it's got some sweet little icons in here that you might expect of a summer collection, and it definitely has that 70s kind of darker brown and orangey color palette, which is a little hard for me to work with, but I have some ideas, so we'll see how this goes. However, some of the papers and icons have pops of brightness that I do appreciate, so this is kind of fun, and I will show you the papers as we go. This one in particular is bright and cheery, and I like that. The other side is very ice creamy. We've got some kind of license platey icons for summertime, and the other side is super usable. Popsicles are a big hit right now, and including with me, so that is a fun, but I really like the newsprint on the other side. Now this piece was really fun, and it shows off that these are definitely samples, because you get partial sheets of full 12 by 12 papers, and I think that's probably one of the complaints people have gotten about this kit, is that they'd rather have full-size papers, and maybe that's why they're moving to page kits. At any rate, here is the other collection, which is the Jen Hadfield Flower Child collection. And I've been working with this collection as part of my CKC design team building our kits this month. And I'll link you up to that kit build up in the corner if you want to know how to build your own scrapbooking kits from your existing products instead of purchasing kits. Now I am going to show off this paper collection, and there were a couple of sheets in this collection that I thought were my favorites, and none of them showed up in these samples of papers, so that is fun to see the rest of this stuff in person. That orange paper is really pretty and definitely reminds me of a story, so that might come into play for my project this time around. And considering that I'm not a brown and orange person, I do like some of these icons. This one in particular, and the previous kind of rainbowy one I did like. So that is the unboxing of this kit. Let's go ahead and move over to a project. So a couple of ideas were sparked when I started working on this. One was that diagonal orientation of that kind of sun paper, as you see me putting it there. And then I started thinking about some of these other papers. Another idea that totally got sparked was the watermelons, and how I think about watermelon being better as a kid. So this whole layout is going to be about summer vibes as a kid, and that is the title that I've got going on here. So I pulled out some fun foam, which you saw me go past really quickly, to give some lift and some extra color to the backing to my title. And I pulled out a few extra alpha letters so that I could finish off that title. I am going to offset gluing the title onto that fun foam so you can see more of that black edge. And then I am going to use all the other elements in this kit to cut out circles and use stamping to create kind of columns of memories. And here I am back with all of that in place because this did take quite a while. I skipped over a lot of that. So I am going to title each column with this alpha stamp set that I have, a rotary alpha stamp set. This is an older Stampin' Up! Product, but I'm sure you could probably find something in the office supply market that would do something similar. Now, like I said, I am getting each of these columns stamped and labeled, and this was a little tricky because I'm working on a textured cardstock there. So my stamping on textured cardstock can be hard. Now I've kind of set things aside down below my layout so that I have everything lumped together and won't get lost. I did offset that diagonal a little bit, and that gave me an opportunity to take the extra piece and create a balance to the second page. And you'll see me add some more to that in a little bit. So each of my column is going to consist of circles that have something to do with a memory. I tried mostly to get paper icons that matched. Now some of the papers weren't perfect matches. And I'm going to add in with, extra papers and stamping, also stamps from my supplies to fill out these memories. Oh, I just showed you the mat that comes with the Close to My Heart products is kind of a foam mat, and that can help you get a better impression, especially if you're like me working on textured cardstock. So you can put that mat underneath your project before you do your stamping. Now, I used it some of the time, but not other of the time. So that is just how I ended up doing things. So here on the middle column there, I was talking about I had holly hobby curtains as a kid. And so that section is about a memory of those holly hobby curtains blowing the breeze. This next column that I'm working on is about fishing. And so those icons came off of that lake set from the included stamp set in the kit this month. So that was kind of nice. I think, I pulled out the flowers. Here's where I'm adding a few more details to the second page on the upper side. I did add some of these flowers to the Holly Hobby section as well to kind of fill out that area. So I did get a lot of use out of the stamp set this time around, even though I am going to pull out more stamps. Now, I'm going to pull out more stamps both from prior SCT kits, including the one from last month that I did not use. So I'm going to put it to use a little bit on the on my layout this month. So that's kind of the nice thing that SCT kits have provided, is those reusable items that you can add to your stash. And I'm going to miss that aspect of these kits. At any rate, I am moving on to my journaling. Now, as you can tell, this page is very full. So how I'm going to do my journaling is creating these little circular flaps. And I just create a flap by folding a tiny portion and then gluing it down. And that glue dries fairly quickly so that I can show off how this flap will work. And you'll see close-up photos of how I get my journaling into those flaps a little bit later. In the meantime, I realized that I wanted a little bit more color to that border strip that spans both pages. And on the back side of that rainbow paper was this very subtle pink floral print. So I cut down 1/4-inch strips of that, and I'm piecing it all together because my titles to each column were in the way a little bit. So I had to work around those on the bottom. And I also had to make sure I had enough pieces of this very leftover scrap of paper to make it all the way across the 2-page spread. But I do get it to work, and I will finish that one up, and then I will show you how the final look of both of these pages came out. Now, my journaling isn't on there yet, but I will show you close up of a little bit of the journaling when we get to those still photos very soon. I do have some writing left to do because I haven't finished this, but this is capturing a lot of my childhood memories all on one page. So as I leave you with these close-ups, I hope you will find some inspiration from this project, either a layout design style, some stamping help, some hidden journaling, or anything else you might have gotten out of this. I do hope you find it helpful in some way. And if you did, leave me a note and let me know what you found helpful, because I always like feedback to know what to share more of in the future. I will be back next week with more videos for you. So until then, have an artful day.